We go out, buy some beer, and then do our best in vandalizing our old school. We were going to spray paint the year we graduated. A couple of them had already climbed. I was climbing up. I was 20 to 30 feet, and my hands slipped, and I started to fall. And when I landed, I broke my neck, suffered a brain injury, and I also broke my left knee, but that wasn't realized at first. And then I was in a coma for a month and a half. I'm thankful for my parents and all the help that they give me. I'm thankful for the doctor who helped save my life. I'm thankful for the people in the choir that welcomed me, and I'm thankful for God who loves me.
When Rob had his accident and they called Jenny and I, it happened about 12:30 in the evening, or 12:30 in the morning. And we were called first by the police, then by the hospital. And we went to the hospital, and they took us into a private small room, and at that point we recognized that this was not a typical automobile accident that had occurred. And they told us that Rob was dead, and that we had to wait 24 hours to make sure he had another flat EEG, and then the death certificate would be signed, and we would go from there. As soon as we found out, we called our pastor, and he spent the entire night at the hospital with us, prayed a lot. It happened to be on a Saturday night. The next morning, it was announced he left the hospital about 7 o'clock and went directly to church. And then it was announced that Rob had died, had fallen and was killed. And immediately, 2 families left church and came to the hospital. And I think it demonstrated church family. Rob was comatose for about 3 months, and the hospital where we worked, and I worked in the pediatric department, did not have a rehab center, and so he had to go to another facility away from Iowa City, and we elected to go to Waterloo, Iowa, which was about 90 miles away and straight up the freeway. And so we could make fairly easy trips up to see him. And at the time, I was a reservist, and my unit was in the cities, in Minneapolis. And so I was able to stop both directions to see Rob. And on one occasion, Rob was non-communicative. And on one occasion, I stopped on my way to Minneapolis, and he wasn't in his room. And they said, no, he's down in the speech lab. So I went down to the basement, and just as I was walking down the hall, Rob came out of a room in a wheelchair. They had taught him how to use a wheelchair at that time. And when he saw me, his eyes lit up. And he said, "I need a lot of help." First words since the accident. And I said, "You know, that's why you're here." And then I think I cried all the way to the cities. But was very encouraging. So we're very lucky and very happy to be together, I guess. As I mentioned, I think I cried all the way to Minneapolis. I probably cried and prayed and thanked God and for His intervention in the situation. I don't understand God's workings. I don't understand why Rob made it and someone else did not. I obviously, he's looking down on us and watching over, certainly watching over us. And I know Rob and Virginia attended several churches here before settling on English, and we're just so pleased that we're so well accepted and involved.
Go Packers.